Thank you for the lovely introduction. I'm happy to be here at Art City. Thank you, Claudia, for inviting me here. Thanks, Steve, for having me. I'm excited to, even though I have several hats that I wear, I am, in fact, a mermaid. I also play harmonica, as Jason knows. I actually played on one of his songs back in the day, which was super fun. And but today I come to you in another hat that I wear. Sometimes in the private quarters of my house, late at night, I think about philosophy. So today I come to you as a philosopher. So how many of you, when you think about today, this weekend, you know, we think about freedom, right? We're in America. America is celebrating its 250th anniversary, and you think about freedom and what that means. Everybody has a different interpretation of what that means, and for me it means many layers, many things. But today I want to talk about psychological freedom. And I got thinking in one of those late nights a few years ago, and I was thinking about feeling trapped. How many of you feel trapped by your phone? Yeah? Sometimes you feel a little trapped by it? How many of you feel like you could live your life without your phone? Okay, awesome. That's really cool. We have a pretty groovy crowd here. That gives me hope, okay? So, how many people think they could live without the internet?
Easy.
Excellent. So I tried doing that for the first year that I moved to Ojai. I was living up to 33, and we just didn't have internet that worked. And so, anyway, I've lived in different times off the grid. I've lived in jungles in Hawaii that were off the grid. I've lived, you know, in kind of these extreme kind of like environments, and I wondered, like, what is that impulse in me to sort of get away from this technocratic bullshit that's out here, you know, sort of overwhelming our psyches, designed to keep us addicted, right? And so on one of these late nights, I was thinking to myself, like, gosh, what is that? What is the internet? What does that even mean? Does anybody actually know what the word internet means? Anybody? Right? What was that? Somebody in the back?
Come on, you can share. Well, something about connecting in terms of
connecting. Okay, we have connecting.
Interweb.
Interweb. Yeah, we've got web. Mm-hmm.
The web.
Now, when you think about the internet, when you think about understanding what a word means, it's actually really helpful for my mind to go into what do the words mean that make up this word? Where does this word come from? Why do we call it this? What is internet? So I got thinking and I started doing some research. So, I actually did use the internet, and that was a deliberate choice. I went on to dictionary.com because I thought, let's see how the internet in fact defines itself. With the contributions of people who contribute definitions to dictionaries, and that's how language is built, and it's this whole consensus-based thing, and that's really cool. Etymology is fascinating to me because it goes into what words make up the word, and you learn a little bit about the history. Are you ready for an etymological study of the word internet?
Yes.
I don't think you guys knew you were going to school today. Normally I play rock and roll, but hey, I got my philosophy cap on. So, internet, noun. A vast computer network linking smaller computer networks worldwide. The internet includes commercial, educational, governmental, and other networks, all of which use the same set of communications protocols. First recorded in 1970 or 75. It was a shortening of the word internetwork. So that's what we get as like a first definition, right? And etymology goes into what is the word inter. The word inter is really interesting. So inter is a verb as the first definition, and it's used with an object. Inter, to place a dead body in a grave or tomb, bury. And then the obsolete version of that, which comes from English, French, and Latin, Middle English, would be terra. It's obsolete to put into the earth. So it's to bury a dead body, inter. I was like, oh, okay, inter. I'm like, okay, let's look at the second definition of inter. A prefix occurring in loanwords from Latin where it meant between, among, in the midst of, mutually, reciprocally, together, or during. And so that means all together. So we're burying a dead body in the, all together, okay? Okay, let's take a look. Those are the only two definitions of inter, okay? So then let's look at net. So net, okay, let's look at net. Noun, a bag or other contrivance of strong thread or cord worked into an open meshed fabric for catching fish, birds, or other animals. Oh, okay, a net. Let's see, there's also the tennis racket net, that kind of definition, and we'll move to definition 3, which I thought was very interesting. Anything serving to snatch, or to catch, or ensnare. Third definition. So with the way dictionaries work, it's your first definition is like the most common use, and then it goes to the second and the third. So we're studying all of the etymological definitions within this word. So anything serving to catch or ensnare. Okay, so that means we're burying dead bodies all together in a trap. Okay. It's also a lace-like fabric with a uniform mesh of cotton, often forming the foundation of laces. And then it also talks about telecommunications, any network containing computers and telecommunications equipment. Oh, and then the 9th definition, net, income, profit, or the like. Okay, so we're burying dead bodies in a trap all together for profit. Okay. All right, internet. Net as a verb, okay, used with an object, to cover, screen, or enclose with a net or netting, to take with a net, to set or use nets in a river, stream, etc., as for catching fish, to catch or ensnare, those words again, yeah, big with internet, to hit the ball into the net, to gain or produce as clear a profit, from German and Latin, notice not. And the adjective is the remaining after deductions as for charges or expenses, sold at a stated price with all parts and charges included in which all deductions having been made, and final, totally conclusive. So it's final, net, okay. So we're burying dead bodies together in the earth in a trap for profit, and it's final. So, okay, I'm thinking, all right, that's what internet means. Wow, nobody taught me that before. So that's the actual etymological definition of the word internet. So what do we do about that? So I went to bed, I woke up the next morning, and I had this word in my mind, and it was antinet. So on this eve of our nation's holiday celebrating our independence, I'm celebrating my freedom, and I like to find solutions when I have a problem, right? I'm like, okay, well, how can I deal with this philosophical problem I have now with internet? Antinet came to me, and I thought, antinet? What is antinet? It's not a word in the dictionary. It actually doesn't exist. And so I woke up with this word, and I thought, well, I'll run an etymological study on my own word that's in my brain. Anti, noun, a person who is opposed to a particular practice, party, policy, action, etc. So it means to be anti-net, you're against. Anti as a prefix means opposite of, antiparticle of. It's used in the formation of compound words. So if net is a trap, to be anti a trap means to oppose a trap, to insist upon one's freedom. So the word antinet came to me, and I thought, this is really interesting. So I started having antinet parties at my house, and it started as a soft launch. I've got cell phones banned from my house since 2017. People still like to visit me, which is great. But I would recommend, with a word, we can all participate in a new way of thinking. It's hard to say, well, how do we live offline? How do we liberate our minds from this nexus of manipulation and profit that we're just sort of all subjected to? Nobody can really resist the addictive nature of the way these tools have been built. People get degrees in this stuff. They go to school and get degrees in marketing and all these things. It's psychological warfare. And being here at Art City with all of you lovely people, where does the revolution really start? In my heart, it's always the word on the street. So the new word on the street for today on our Independence Day is antinet. If you want to have a great time with your friends, have an antinet party. Say, hey, keep the phones in your car, come and hang out, let's imagine. Let's wonder about stuff. Let's not know.